can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to cry. You can't fool me again.
What fi gonna eat no money, what fi at you, it no at you. Covid money missing, we eat the your little rat you. Use the youth, them money, waste, must a man to statue. Say me like a catch you, but me got in a figure you. Take the script of money, girl, and say that it's not you. One day the man above him, up him, I got a bet. Too much it in the kitchen, some a fly well like a pat too. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% raise.
It burn me.
Garbage pile of the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption face.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
Come me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The already promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, them rapidly down in our fever. Member bold money and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me.
Or they treat the market man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
Or they treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the sun man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
Or them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You
Stibbidim day, stibbidim day, stibbidim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
If Andrew Holness and Diddy is going down, who are they taking with them? Will Andrew take Gillette? Will Diddy take Oprah or Tyler? We don't know. We just have to continue to wait. But my God, it is getting worse. The Jamaica Labour Party has taken the phrase, drowning man clutching at straw, to a dangerously new level. The level of clutching at straw from the Jamaica Labour Party. Hey, my God. What a catawire over there. To my community of parity and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good evening. Me know the whole honor there. Good evening and welcome, everyone. Thank you all for joining. Me still not feel 100% of myself, but what is going on in the Jamaica Labour Party? I mean, they're just all over the place. Can somebody tell them? Taking responsibility is a way moving to solving the problem. Because the Jamaica Labour Party can just get up and go on like everybody do them something so. And it's everybody fault so. Because Andrew can't talk when getting money them from. It's Andrew's money, you know. And if Andrew can't talk, when get it? we not gonna know where you get it. Holding on to the fact that, and I'm glad Julian Robinson explained this today, you're using one investigation to overshadow the entire thing. The investigation that the Keisha ruled on was whether or not he lied about the 4 bank accounts. And Isabel Rose, how you doing? Whether or not he lied about the bank accounts he did not declare. That was what was closed or was ruled on. The disgraceful part, though, which you're all running around in public, and we're not going to have to tolerate a bit of the oversight committee of the Integrity Commission, that the fumble and the mumble them have over there today. It's a disgraceful way that in our parliament, the Jamaica Labour Party can be rigorously attacking the Integrity Commission. Carlos Wagwan. Me not see you on live the while. You done already? Rigorously attacking the Integrity Commission. I'm not going to have to tolerate a bit of it tonight because I know me not like can news. Me like them telling themselves what them think and what them are doing and what them are going to plan to do. But it's disgraceful to see the attacks from the Jamaica Labour Party. Mr. One of the bathyologists for the Jamaica Labour Party, they call him Clovis Nelson. A stage demonstration against the Integrity Commission. Wow, 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 Clovis. Make we go into a little bit of the fluffery that happened at the oversight today. I don't need to hear them something here. For yourself, Carlos, come here, make me grab you. Me hear you talk about Edmund Bartlett with the Carlos. The Ufa country. You mean with the bulldozer and the power saw to come cut up with the business, Carlos? Careful, I want to ask for.
And just a fresh enabling.
Hold on.
Thank you.
To both houses of parliament, assessing the effectiveness of the Integrity Commission and the appropriateness of its proceeding. And finally, C, which is what today's meeting is primarily about, convening and considering a report submitted to Parliament under Section 36 of the Integrity Commission Act within 30
General
days
election, Carlos.
of the
My
submission
opinion.
of the report.
Hold on, let me pause this
We are
and talk to
mandated.
Carlos. My opinion, Carlos. General election. You know, since a worm name every fruit pan the tree, Carlos. What you want? You want one-sided fruit with bird and worm. Pick out the other side of all the fruit with upon the tree. Where I go to Carlos? Bring bird, one-sided fruit with bird and worm. The rest, the other side. It's a general election we want. There's nobody credible in the Labour Party to take the helm. All of them sit down blindly behind the Prime Minister and him crying. Many people were associated to Diddy. I delete them Instagram galangans. Me no see none of the Labour them. I delete nothing. The Labour them said, full force ahead. We back up the teeth. We back up the teeth. No, then Carlos, yes, but now it's changed. You know why it's changed? Changing Andrew at this point is not going to provide the country leadership, one. It is not going to provide honesty to the country. Three, it will not, based on what we have seen or heard from the lot, it will not be a safe hand at governance. We don't know, Carlos, number four, that if the Prime Minister ought to be replaced, he will be replaced by another of the illicit seven. This make it all clear that it ought to be a general election. However, I also think we need to know who the other seven are before we go to the polls. Why? We don't want to vote for any illicit enrichers. The war of words in Parliament today at the Oversight Committee, dunceness prevails in our Parliament.
To receive these reports, special reports, and to report back to Parliament within 30 days of receiving them. We're well in line with that. And therefore, I would like to invite the consideration of the minutes of
the
Hey, why does it seem so hard
Bear with me,
to sell
people.
your own service?
request of the Integrity Commission, and where we have
Bear with me. I want to get it
the
right.
recommendation that we do a review of previous reports to see where we have accommodated the request of the Integrity Commission and where we have not, so as to enable us now to review those that we have not, to hopefully see that we can accommodate those requests from the Integrity Commission.
So the clerk is here, and perhaps he has a comment to make on that. We have a new deputy who might very well be arriving at the right time in relation to some of these services. So let's hear from the clerk.
It is the comments of Mr. Paulwell is somewhat unclear to me. However, I do believe that the committee clerk perhaps would be best able to assist if we're talking about looking at previous minutes of the meeting or to make comparisons, because they are pretty much the drafts person who would have access to that information. So if we are talking about additional support staff, then I can comment on that. But as to the specifics of the minutes of the meeting, I do believe that the committee clerk perhaps would be in a better position to respond to that concern.
Member Paulwell, I just want to intervene to indicate that the requirement is a little beyond that, because we now have to look at some consultancy services for the committee at the level of what the PAAC has.
Me not gonna kill you with a lot of the pleasantries. What I want to do is to move it over to Pernell Charles, because he said countless of bullshit today. I mean, he was high on bullshit.
Of concerns that he owns assets.
And as to how best they
Hold
can.
on. This was a motion moved by Julian. I'm sorry that people.
To Parliament on September 5th, 2024, urged Parliament to support the referral of its investigation report into the statutory declaration submitted by the Most Honorable Mr. Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, for the years 2019 to 2022 in respect of concerns that he owns assets disproportionate to his lawful earnings and that he made false statements in his statutory declarations by way of omissions contrary to law, to the Financial Investigation Division, a law enforcement agency of the government of Jamaica. And whereas the Integrity Commission has said that there can be no finality in the matter until the FID has completed its work, and there can be no certification of the statutory declarations of the Prime Minister until the Director of Information and Complaints is satisfied that the statutory declaration has been duly completed. And whereas the Director of Investigations has indicated that he is unable to make a final conclusion on the question of illicit enrichment, due in part to the refusal of the Prime Minister to share with the Integrity Commission a breakdown of his expenses for the reference period of the investigation. And whereas it is untenable for this cloud of uncertainty to remain over the head of government, be it resolved that the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee supports the recommendation of the Integrity Commission for the matter to be referred to the Financial Investigation Division, and be it further resolved that the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee calls upon both Houses of Parliament also to support the recommendation of the Integrity Commission for the matter to be referred to the Financial Investigation Division. This motion has been moved by myself and seconded by Member Philip Powell. And I ask that the committee considers this motion.
The onslaught is going to
To
come
begin
now,
with,
my
I
people.
must say that this motion, for good order, might have been given to the chair for even perusal, if not agreement. The committee, it's a very unusual move. I've never had a situation where a motion is put before the committee, but members have the right to make comments and to put forward whatever thoughts and ideas they may have in furtherance of the discussions that are before us. So I just want to urge that, of course, in future, the chair is at least given the benefit of having a review of any kind of motion that might want to be tabled by members to be considered. So I ask members to comment on the motion and to let us have a finality in terms of how we move forward where that is concerned.
You can skip this video, but you can't skip the truth. Right now in North Gaza, children are going.
Chairman, the letters asking us to support the submission of this to FID, but I think it would have been proper if the support was sought before it was submitted. It has already been submitted to FID, so I ask for support at this stage. Secondly, I don't believe it is within the remit of the Integrity Commission to submit such report to any other body except Parliament. Section 9 makes it clear that such documents or what have you can be submitted. It says here, notwithstanding any provision to the contrary under this act or any other law, the Commission shall disclose to competent authority any information or document that is necessary to assist the competent authority in the investigation and prosecution of offenses related. It didn't say that the Integrity Commission can ask another authority, a competent authority, to initiate an investigation. It says to assist. And my interpretation here, if there is an ongoing investigation, then, and that authority seeks the assistance of information from Integrity Commission, then it can submit that. But it doesn't provide based on Section 9, for the Interior Commission to submit
Read
and
section
to
7
initiate an
and
investigation.
3.
It said to assist in the investigation. So if an investigation is going on, that's the only time that body can seek. But they didn't seek anything from the Interior Commission.
Investigation
So
of
it's not
the
within
illicit
their remit
enrichment is still
to seek to institute or initiate an
Hold on.
investigation.
The investigation, Edward Wilmington, my God, Tom, and I'm going to play a video from Dion Jackson Miller in a bit, because Tom Tavares Simpson needs to come out and apologize for the blatant lie he told that there's nothing in law that allows the Integrity Commission to refer to FID. And we're not even talking about the memorandum of understanding at the moment, but we'll get to that. But they keep going on about the Integrity Commission don't have authority. They're in Parliament telling all these lies. The JLP don't have credibility to continue with continuously lying to the nation inside of our Parliament.
Based on Section 9. They're totally out of order and out of their league into that. My interpretation as a layman.
Member Paulwell?
Chairman, I'm not too clear on the point that the member from Southwest St. Catherine is making, but it has been a position of this committee, and I haven't seen any instance where we have not accepted recommendations from the Integrity Commission. And all that the motion is seeking to do today is to formalize what has been our position from day one. That is, where the Commission recommends to us, where they rule on matters, it passes through this committee. We observe and we move on with a clear position that we accept the recommendations. I've never heard of any instances where we have not accepted the recommendations of the Commission. And what Member Robinson and myself are seeking to do is to, in relation to that specific recommendation, and it is quite clear that it is on us, because when the FID does its investigation, I'm certain it will report back to the Integrity Commission, and after which we expect to get another report. So this is in furtherance of their continued investigation.
Okay. It would seem to me that this is a procedural matter, and I think that the members are obliged to respond. You made a point that it is not customary for us to reject. So the need for a motion to enable us to do what is customary seems a little curious at this time. But be it as it may, members have a right to put forward a position. I see Member Chuck want to make a presentation.
Let me say, Mr. Speaker, sorry, Mr. Chairman, that I am appalled that the Integrity Commission can present a report which is quite clear is, in their own indication, is incomplete, and therefore is asking for further investigation by the FID and the TAJ, and now asking Parliament to support that recommendation, which is the substance of this motion. What is this report? Is this an interim report, or is this a final report? And I say, Mr. Chairman, what is before us? A submission to Parliament. It came clearly as a final report. It didn't come as an interim report. So what is this recommendation or request that we should refer to the FID and TAG. Mr. Chairman, the investigation, the IC Integrity Commission has an MOU with FID from 2001 or 2021. And it could easily have contacted the FID and asked the FID for information. Why is it submitting a report now and then asking us to recommend to the FID? It has a MOU with FID. And before it's submitted...
No, the IC never saw enough for recommended. The IC say enough to support the recommendation. If anybody understand it differently, let me know. But the IC say enough to support the recommendation. He never asked UNU to refer Andrew to FID. They ask that UNU support the referral they made. Is that how UNU understand it, or am I a fool?
Did this report, why didn't it engage the FID and the TOJ, which within its mandate it can do? And it seemed to me the question may well be asked, why was this report submitted to Parliament at this time? After 3 years, it had, during that period, done 3,800 investigation of transaction, investigated.
Let me answer that question for you, Delroy Chuck. The Prime Minister refuses to give them the information they've asked for that would assist them in finalizing their report. Therefore, because they cannot tally up what the Prime Minister give them in a legal fashion, they are saying, we don't have the lawful authority to do the type of investigation FID has. So we are referring it to FID to do an investigation on the movements of money between the Prime Minister's companies and accounts before Delroy Chuck we can verify his what's it or other wrongs. Or am I a fool to understand it so?
According to 28 bank accounts, the IC itself has done a comprehensive report. In addition, it reports that it had an international expert for 6 months. And the international expert has found nothing. And what you have here, Mr. Chairman, is a report that has not implicated the Prime Minister, the substance of this report in...
It is a lie, Mr. Chuck. The Prime Minister is being referred to for criminal investigation. It implicates, Mr. Chuck, that the Prime Minister is highly possibly involved in criminal activities. That is why he's been referred to, Mr. Chuck, to an organization that investigate financial crime, Mr. Chuck.
Any material way. What this report has done is to leave nothing but speculation from page 1 to page 171 of its report.
No, what the Prime Minister has done, Mr. Chuck, is leave the country in a speculatory move by dancing and dithering for the last 3 years as to how he come by a lot of his assets, which he cannot prove documentarily. The Prime Minister is also involved, Mr. Chuck, in other hokum bros, such as taking charity money, Mr. Chuck, to buy personal bond for himself, Mr. Chuck. Roll away the stone, Mr. Chuck. Maybe you need to come from under that stone. Roll away the truck stone. Roll it away.
It had come to no conclusion. And because it has failed to come to any conclusion, it is now asking for the FID and the TAG to assist it in coming to some conclusion.
So
I have
what?
much more to say, Mr. Speaker.
We want to get to the bottom of it. So
Fail and
what?
accept to say I cannot support the present motion.
Hang on, my peeps. You know how the little adverts them go?
Thank you, Chairman. You know, I am
To the onslaught, you
taking
know.
serious note of the motion that has been advanced by Member Robinson. And
When I prepare to step on a big toe, when I prepare to step on a big toe because the deluge are coming, I know.
it puts into focus for me the importance of us as a committee ensuring that the Integrity Commission and the officers are brought before us before this moves any further. And I say this because after examination of the report, thorough examination, it is laden with statements that are clearly prejudicial, more than they are probative, statements that have had no bearing on the findings or ought not to have had any bearings on the findings.
Jesus Christ, I want to pop out me hear them, but me ain't staying because I'm going to need them because they're my antenna, Colonel Charles. And if I pop out, me hear this evening, I may don't pick up things from the cosmos, make a bite my big finger.
That have been
Bite the big finger, boy.
particularly included for a reason. I wonder, Chairman, if we ought not to be calling the IC before us to discuss the matter, to really investigate and determine, is this a matter of malicious prosecution, where clearly you see the inclusion of
Me say to bite on the warrior or hit cloth finger. Because anyone on a special rebuke Colonel Charles this evening because me don't know how to talk to Dopey. Me walk through cemetery, but me never seen an Dopey come out and say aye. So me don't know what the answer Colonel Charles said. See God there. Me just don't know. Me if one can't answer and I comment, you know, one can't answer Colonel Charles, but if I'm immune on the pen pan tonight.
things intended to harm the declarant rather than to seek justice. These are matters that we have to explore because it is highly inappropriate, in my view, for an investigation to be completed and for there to now be an effort to redetermine the matter. Section 7 of the Integrity Commission Act speaks directly to cooperation between other bodies and agreement and arrangements, and it allows the commission in the performance of its functions to cooperate with any person or body that it may deem appropriate, including those bodies that it is now seeking to redetermine this matter, that it itself has concluded. It's either that the IC is turning against itself, or that you have a situation here that is exposing itself as being a matter of corruption. And I must tell you, I am very concerned because as a nation, if we intend to
Stephen Colonel Charles Pickney, I call the IC corrupt. What a travesty of justice this evening.
address corruption, Mr. Chairman, we must ensure that those with the primary responsibility are not including any contaminated or corrupt operation in that effort. And I speak very seriously on it, boldly. This is laden with procedural irregularities. And I hear Member Paul saying that it has never been done. That is a weak argument in relation to addressing this matter that relates to our Prime Minister, who has been subjected to the most extensive and the most expensive investigation. And we must be
Jamaica. You know, see them suck me. We make me want strip and go and get up. I wonder if you know say utterances like these will make me strip and go and get up. Act like cougar like Babsy. Act like old whore like Michelle Charles. But never mind. Stay off the pole, Wayne. Stay off the pole.
Very clear in ensuring that as a matter of law and principle, what is done here must be done with fairness at the forefront. Chairman.
If you've been wondering about joining the crypto revolution to grow your wealth, then we've got something.
Me know it's say boring, but you don't have to listen to it tonight. Me one can't cast so much news.
Us today is the ruling on the one matter that the Director of Investigation advanced to the Director of Corruption Prosecution. And I read, the Commission's Director of Corruption Prosecution has, pursuant to the provisions of the Integrity Commission Act, inclusive of the aforementioned sections 54.3b and 54.4 of the Act, and sections 34.1a and 34.1b thereof, reviewed the subject investigation report and has ruled that, open quotation, upon careful consideration, it was determined that no charges are to be laid, close quotation. Why is it that in the motion that has been advanced, you hear no reference to what the Director of Corruption Prosecution has determined further to an examination of what has been placed before her? The other matters that are discussed in the report were not even sufficient to be advanced to the Director of Corruption Prosecution for a determination. But now we want to tell Jamaica that we must drag a declarant, regardless of who the declarant is, through a whole new redetermination because you have failed before you completed your investigation to do your job. And I tell you, Mr. Chairman, what happens to one can happen to another. There are matters that have come before the Integrity Commission and the then Contractor General that I will raise at another place to remind members and to remind those that are making much ado of this and trying to extend it to a place where it ought not to go, of what occurred when they were the ones on trial. So, Mr. Chairman, I think that as a matter of procedure, and when you examine the process, we have no choice but to ensure that before this goes any further or anywhere else, that some questions are answered as it relates to the process, the procedure, and what I see as an unfortunate effort to extend this in an inappropriate way. There are legal principles that have to be looked on from the matter of what we call functus officio, Mr. Chairman, which is a doctrine that dictates that once you have fully exercised your authority, you don't get the opportunity to redetermine those issues. And what we have here is a clear example of an effort to extend the Integrity Commission's authority where it ought not to go. The question is why? Why? And who is supporting this? And why is it being so supported? There are other issues which I won't raise here, and I hope that the declarant, in listening, will look on the issues of mandamus and other things to determine whether or not the Integrity Commission ought not to be compelled to certify, having come down with a ruling. But let me leave it there, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Member Charles. I see Member Paulwell, and then I have Member Malahu, and then Member Robinson, in that order.
With indulgent escapes, only the best will do.
Because Malahu do some dancing
Chairman,
on the cloud
just in
as
relation
well.
to the comments made earlier by my friend, Mr. Chuck, and just to remind Mr. Chuck that he, with
Let me take you to Everard Warmington issue first. Then I'll take you to Malahu dancing about.
Malahu. No, I think in the order that I indicated, you would defer. I'm sorry, Member Robinson, the member whose moment it is has deferred to another member. Let me allow that.
Then defer to Everard, muddy the water.
Member Paul will just draw some attention to what is state that Member Chuck has been saying.
This is the war of words now.
For some time and asking about some report on the supposed illicit 6. And you said this is something you refer to this as part of that. Is there anywhere in this report, anywhere at all, state that this report deals with anything named illicit? Anything illicit?
Okay, is it a rhetorical question or are you? Yeah, right.
It was meant for me to respond. And it is clear.
Sorry, Member Warmington needs to conclude what he's saying.
Okay. So what I'm asking that I've gone through this report and I haven't seen anywhere in it that make mention to illicit. And you use the word illicit just now. No, well, quoting Mr. Chuck has nothing to do with the report. We're dealing with the report. So maybe I didn't see it. Maybe I'm not able to read or comprehend. You're supposed to be a lawyer, so maybe you can help me, a layman. Can you tell me what page, what section in this report that refers to the investigation the Prime Minister said anything about illicit? You mentioned that a while ago. Is that word appears anywhere in this report? That the Prime Minister did involve in anything illicit? Can you tell me where I should find that?
Okay. Member Paul.
To be clear, Mr. Chairman, I was referring to firstly the preoccupation, I would say, of Mr. Chuck over the last few weeks into months. Because in paraphrasing him, this announcement that there were investigations in relation to illicit enrichment that was in the report of the previous year, and that he wanted to get something final and definitive in relation to the persons who are so accused, and urged the Integrity Commission to come forward as speedily as possible to clear that cloud. And it is my belief, and substantiated by the letter and the interviews that the Prime Minister was subject to, which were revealed quite clearly that this was an issue of unlawful enrichment.
Yeah, but
and that to me is palpable.
But to the member's point, I think we have to be careful about how words are being used, and we cannot, gentlemen. Yes, I think we all are aware of motives and intentions, and we must verbalize exactly what we think and what we want to be conveyed. Don't leave members to assume. And I think the member was quite correct the way you juxtapose the thoughts a while ago that this particular report was one of the illicit 6. And I think it's unfair for you to have said it in the way you did. And I know, and I
Julian
think
is going to answer
that
them on
in
this.
your own circumlocutory way a while ago, you sort of made it clear that you didn't quite intend to say it the way you said it. But and I think that it is fair that you should just say to a colleague that fine, you really didn't intend to say what he thought you said.
Shave smarter with the Philips Shaver S9000 Press.
And there lies the danger. There lies the danger, Chairman.
No, but did you? Okay. I heard you. I just want the record to show that.
Let me address 2 points, Chairman. You have made heavy weather about the motion. You have used the word curious. I heard the word unfortunate. I would regard those words as actually unfortunate because it is well within the right of any member of the committee to move a motion, which I have done. It's been properly tabled, it's been properly seconded. So just on a procedural point, and I don't want us to belabor that issue about the motion itself. Now let me deal with the substantive issue. The special report which was tabled, and I'm going to read exactly the heading.
So remember, just allow me for clarity here because the records will show, the comment I made with regards to your motion was not the content of the motion, but it's the fact that you sought to do it without reference to the chair in the first instance, so at least we know that a motion was coming. And also that the motion, when we hear it, doesn't ask us to do anything that in the normal run of things we wouldn't do after investigation. And to the point that member Charles made of perhaps suggesting that the commission be invited to come and explain further so we can make decisions such as your motion is asking. I think that the nature of how you presented it enabled the chair to suggest that it was curious.
And I disagree with you, but I want to deal with the substantive matter. Now, heavy weather has been made about the use of terms by Member Powell, and I want to read the special report which was tabled in the Parliament, sent to the Parliament on September 5th. And I'm just going to read the headline. Submitted by the Integrity Commission under Section 36(3) of the Integrity Commission Act in the matter of an investigation report of an investigation conducted into the statutory declarations submitted by the Most Honorable Mr. Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, for the years 2019 to 2022, in respect of concerns that he owns assets disproportionate to his lawful earnings and that he made false statements
illicit
in
enrichment
statutory
ever.
declarations by way of omissions contrary to law. That's the wording from the Integrity Commission. The annual report of the Integrity Commission, where it summarizes the investigations, it uses the word illicit enrichment in its annual report. It's not a term that has been manufactured by anybody. It uses that term. And you can reference the annual report as well. So I don't want us to get into a long debate about where this term comes from. It is in the Integrity Commission's annual report, where in 2023, it referred to 6 parliamentarians under investigation for illicit enrichment, and in 2024, it referred to 8. So that term is from the Integrity Commission. But let me come back to the substance of the...
No, but just before you do, and again for clarity, the report that we have before us is a reference that the member was making, and the question as to where in this report is the term illicit enrichment stated. So you may very well describe what could be defined
This
as
is the war of words, my
the report
people.
itself has not said that.
The report references in respect of concerns that he owns assets disproportionate to his lawful earnings. That's what the report says, It's not our words, that's the report. Now let me come to the substantive matter. The Integrity Commission Act allows the Integrity Commission to refer reports to other investigative bodies. It is in the Integrity Commission Act. So they are, in my view, on strong legal footing in making a referral to the FID. Secondly, throughout the report, the Director of Investigations has indicated that he is unable to come to a conclusion on the second issue. And the second issue relates to illicit enrichment because there is information related to the declarant's expenses which he has not received. And because he's not in receipt of that, and because he does not have the resources or authority to go further, he has made a recommendation in the interest of concluding the matter. And this is the important thing. In the interest of concluding the matter, he is making a recommendation for a referral. Now, I do believe it is a fair question to ask of the Integrity Commission whether they engaged FID before the report was tabled or not. I don't know. But I certainly know it is within their right to make that referral. The law facilitates them. And I certainly believe it is in the interest of our country to have finality on a matter and not have the matter remain outstanding for it to be referred so that you can have a conclusion. And that is the basis on which the motion that I have moved today is, in my view, something which will bring closure to the matter one way or another in the interest of the declarant.
My people, it is a deliberate ploy by members of the
If you want to buy a
Jamaican
razor, you have to buy this best-selling mini razor.
It's a deliberate ploy by members of the Jamaican Labour Party to misinterpret the report. It's a deliberate act to misinterpret the report in a bid to tell the world that the Integrity Commission is a corrupt body, is a body aligned to the to the People's National Party. It's a body that is after the Prime Minister. And everything but nobody on the Jamaica Labour Party fence is reading the report. All they're doing is narrativing. And it just shows you why we don't need Andrew to step down. We need a general election. Because if nobody within the Jamaica Labour Party is willing to question Andrew, is willing to call him out, is willing to stand off and say, my, can I take my career into this swelter of shit that Andrew has literally become? That tells you that the whole fleet is of no use when it comes to the running of our country. Because if they see this blatant criminality, embezzlement, money laundering, conspiracy, scamming, tax evasion, I mean, there's so much that is suggestible of the Prime Minister's financial conduct at the moment. I don't think I just bad mind people, bad mind. You think the Prime Minister is in problem? If the investigation goes back to where Zara Burton wanted to go to 2008, 2007, when the Prime Minister created ADMAT, and start using money when thief from Ministry of Education to buy up the whole heap of property, it will even get stiffer. But as I said this morning to Mark Golden, what is required of you, strengthening the Integrity Commission. When you get to power, amend the act to make sure FIB becomes a branch or a part of the Integrity Commission. But they will need powers. With that investigative power, they should have the power to issue subpoenas, the power to question under oath, the power to arrest and charge those which they are investigating and have come up with credible and substantial evidence. That would make it more robust and giving it the independency that it needs. Because what Colonel Charles is also calling for, Colonel Charles is calling for the IC to be investigated. Me know say irritating, but let's look more at Colonel Charles bullshit, because he spoke a lot of it today, and you ought to be aware of it. If you never see it today, you ought to be aware of the tantamount of bullshit that Colonel Charles spoke today. Marlene Muller, who fought, had her portion of bullshit as well.
If he yields to you, then fine.
Mr. Chairman, the more that I hear is the more concerned that I become. I listened to Member Robinson, who says that the Director of Corruption Investigation does not have the resources. Because he does not have resources, the Director of Corruption Investigation has within his remit, and through the Section 7 and other sections in the Act, all of the resources that are necessary to have extended himself through cooperations with the bodies that he now seeks to have redetermine this matter from an external position. He also says that he's making the recommendations. And I want to say thank you, because what Member Robinson has done is tantamount to supporting the call for us to summon the officers before us to answer questions. Because when you listen to what we are discussing now, not only do you have an extended and expensive process inviting and including a foreign expert for weeks to scour through all of what, at the end of that, there has been no adverse finding. And so you have to ask yourself, when you look on what is...
You all know that's a lie when he said there's no adverse finding. If there weren't adverse finding, Colonel Charles, the Prime Minister's statutory declaration would have been certified and the argument is done. For the Prime Minister to be referred, Mr. Charles, for investigation of financial crimes moving between his companies and his 28 bank accounts, Mr. Charles, that, Mr. Charles, is what you would call adverse findings. Jesus Christ, help them.
It's a goal of an investigation. You gather, you analyze, and you look on the facts and the evidence that are before you, and you use the authority that is within your remit to make a determination. The Integrity Commission has done just that. It has passed it, to the professional who is the director of corruption prosecution, and she has made a particular ruling. And because you don't agree, you seek now to push further, to have the matter not further treated within your parameter as a commission, but to use externalities to redetermine this matter. We have to ask ourselves whether this is not an abuse of process. Because even though procedures can be strong and effective and good, when those procedures are misused or manipulated for purposes other than that which they were intended, you have to ask yourself whether it's not an effort to harass or injure the declarant. And in this case, these are things which must be ventilated before this moves any further.
This is the place where goodbyes.
Thank you. So, Member Malahoo Ford, finally.
We're going to listen to a bit of Malahoo Ford plopping on the floor.
I think it's important for me to begin by making it unequivocally clear that I am committed to integrity in public life and the fight against corruption, and that the Jamaica Labour Party that I'm a part of, which forms government, has put in place legislation with supporting institutions sufficiently staffed and resourced as a demonstration of its own commitment to integrity in public life and the fight against corruption. Jamaica's culture that we celebrate on so many fronts has double-edged swords in many areas. You know, for everything we celebrate, there's a flip side to it. I used to joke and say we love our free-spiritedness, but the flip side of that is indiscipline, and we have to grapple with a lot of things. So as I listen to the motion moved by Member Robinson, supported by Member Paulwell, my mind is directed to the duty of the committee. And among other things as set out at Standing Order 73D, this oversight committee is mandated with a duty of reporting to both houses of parliament on any matter relating to the performance of the functions of the Integrity Commission, reviewing the annual report and any other report of the Commission, and submitting recommendations in relation thereto to both houses of parliament, and assessing the effectiveness of the Integrity Commission and the appropriateness of its procedures. So the ask of Member Robinson is an ask that falls within the parameter of the work, reviewing and making recommendations. I look at the objects of the Act, and in the context of this matter, and also against the backdrop of the critical importance of the assigned work, I think everyone is to be reminded that the Act sets out a framework, and it seeks to further encourage and promote propriety and integrity among persons exercising public functions in Jamaica. It is not limited to parliamentarians. It is not limited to civil servants. It is wide to among persons exercising public functions in Jamaica. And I do believe that the commission would fall in that category too, because they do exercise public functions in Jamaica. Another part of the goal is to enhance public confidence, among other things.
Do you understand that Malahoo Fort is asking that the IC be investigated?
That acts of impropriety committed by persons exercising public functions will be dealt with in a manner which achieves transparency, accountability, and fairness.
Looking to start something new this September? Join us at Elizabeth School of London, whether you're into business, finance.
That's Section 3 of the law. Section 7 tells us and gives the power to the Integrity Commission that it may cooperate with any person or body that it deems appropriate.
Okay, so no. Don't come out, come correct Tom Tavares. None of you. Because when Tom Tavares thinks that we're done, Tom Tavares run out and tell we say there's nothing in law that allows the Integrity Commission to refer anyone to FID. Put the memorandum of understanding aside. We're now finding out section, I think, 7, section 3, section 11, gives, in the Integrity Commission Act, gives the IC that authority. I'm not anybody come out, come call Tom Tavares to retract the lie when coming a public come tell. Since this report has been tabled, the Labour Party is on a rant around the country, a rant across the airwaves telling lies. The Prime Minister all want to talk, say people after him to damage him. So what, Prime Minister? I know you are the only person somebody after. I know you are the only person who would get damaged. I know you are the first leader for your country who would get damaged, Prime Minister. So what? So what if people after you? It's how Jamaica operate, Prime Minister. People tend to go after criminal, especially those who steal from them, Prime Minister. So we don't know where you carry on and go on about. What is it? What if somebody after the Prime Minister? So what? But we continue to listen to the drunken old fool.
In the performance of its functions. And it also gives very, very wide powers to the Commission in its cooperation with others, with entities such as the FID, competent authorities. And I notice that in the exercise, in the performance of its functions, the directors and the Commission have made it very clear that they utilize the powers that are given to them. And they have shown how they utilize them to the nth degree. I am left to wonder what is the objective of asking us to support the exercise of a power that they have when they have exercised other powers given to them either discretionarily or mandatorily, and they have never sought our assistance in so doing. It really begs the question for me. And I don't like to act in vain, Mr. Chairman. I mean, if you don't need my help in doing something because you already are sufficiently enabled to do it, don't ask for my help. what I'm saying. I am puzzled on many fronts, just in how the commission has performed its function, why it is asking us to do something that not only does it have the power to do, but it has already done. From
Me never use Marlene Malaho foot face wipe my backside because she may just got thing and makeup and go use it pala over her face. So me not go use her face wipe my backside, but never mind. Jamaica, this is disgraceful. It is disgraceful to see an entire family. It is disgraceful where nobody in the family can say, my youth, you know you're wrong. You shouldn't do that, my youth. Look now, you draw the whole family into it. But no, the family run out of the yard with a crocus bag of battle and say, ooh, them attack to. Run out with them crocus bag and them wash pan a buckle and stone. They come war. Nobody think in the Jamaica Labour Party that they should have any reverence or respect to the public. Nobody in the Jamaica Labour Party think that we can read, we can think, we have a mind of our own, or what is said in black and white within the report, we can't understand it. Hello, remember say me a dunce, you know. The whole heap of number them confuse me. But there are sentences in there which now go confuse me. The Prime Minister don't have credibility. Uno can't make it up game. It's just not possible that uno are going to make up credibility for the Prime Minister. The longer you hold on to the Prime Minister is the more damaging for the party. I don't know which I want to see at the moment. If I want to see the back of Andrew or I want to see the destruction of the Jamaica Labour Party based on how all of you are going on. Because everybody knows that I am a person that respects true democracy. I do not like Parliament who have this excess majority that you call a landslide. It is a whoopsie dangerous daisy for democracy. Andrew Holness and his regime for the last so on and so forth, 8 years, but particularly in the last 3 years, have been really giving us a run for our money. I mean, him draw with an underbed, him tell with a tanner yard, him thief fan with, him fire gun out with. And now the Prime Minister is telling all of us that we're bad mind and we're tell lie upon him. Prime Minister, none of we don't have 28 bank accounts, so we're not thief. None of we not under probe for tax evasion, Prime Minister. None of we not under probe for illegal gains, Prime Minister, nor for racketeering, embezzlement, scamming. But what we also know, Prime Minister, Charles, Delroy Chuck, Maladu Ford, Floyd Green, Juliet Holness, and the whole of them standing behind the Prime Ministers are conspirators. If the rule of law were to be respected, upheld, and observed in our society, we today would have been in a place where Britain is. Because Britain is in a place where Britain have to be releasing prisoners to house prisoners. Britain reached a place where Britain is given prolific pedophile from the BBC 6-month suspended sentence when they're giving rioters how much years in prison. I wonder who's more dangerous, if it's one who riots for a few days or for a few hours, or one that goes around abusing hundreds of our children. Hugh Edwards, the BBC pedophile, all he was given 6-month suspended sentence. And the debacle of the acceptance of mental health, because of them people are Andrew Faline. Edman, what the pedophile boy name said, because he didn't get the chance to go to Oxford or Cambridge University, it has taken a toll on him, and he has to, in response to his mental health, go and look at indecent images of children. Yes. The BBC has long been a place where pedophiles fetters and grow. If you hear BBC, they have a contract for your picnic, tell them, not my child. Not my child, because all I know about the BBC there, all I know about the BBC, they don't have a habit of doing it. Remember Jimmy Savile? And it is said, or Prime Minister Keir Starmer, 10 weeks of it, they're calling for him to resign. Possible were played, Jimmy Savile played around with him. I wonder if P. Diddy met Jimmy Savile, but never mind. Back to Andrew. The justice system that way, I can't take, let me start in my sick self. I can't take the likes to 200. One to the finger. 385 on the platform at the moment, from producer Wayne. What, something wrong with the like button? I don't want me to run off down tonight. But I love the mix up and the problem. But anyway, we're dealing with the New Nation drunk for them tonight, which is the Jamaica Labour Party. We can't continue with the dunce tribalry in our country. Our country is not being led. The Prime Minister cannot lead our country under this cloud. The Prime Minister is no longer believable. The Prime Minister regularly lies to the nation. At least we know. The Prime Minister from August last year, when he said, I've looked far and wide, but not close. And no one in my camp is being under the illicit probe. The Prime Minister deliberately lied about that because he knew then that he was under the illicit probe. Hurry up with the other few them, because we want to know if Juliet in there, if Edmund Bartlett in there, Fly Green in there, if Tiffin Darrell Vaz in there. But then again, by the time next year come, the probe may even multiply, because you know said stealing in the Jamaica Labour Party is a multiplication. Them not take time thief. Them thief out load in a crowd. So, I know nothing what them shame about is what they do naturally. Is what they do naturally. It is the reason why none of them cannot simply see how much of a disrepute that the Prime Minister has brought them into. And they're all prepared to go down with the Prime Minister. We literally don't have a problem in you all going down because I don't see the use want to serve, to be honest. One cannot really go to a crowd, go say, what them people you serve? What's their purpose? It's just not there. But to Jamaicans at home, that's why I'm saying sometimes I always have problem with PNP and them laziness, them dull PR, and the whole of them something there. How come on a PNP make Labour a go there, go demonstrate against the Integrity Commission before uno go there, go demonstrate for Andrew step down? When the PNP not ready yet neither. PNP no want nothing. PNP just want something in their lap. Why uno can't fight before no power war no want? Because none no one good for Jamaica, you know. Neither uno Labour right or PNP. None no one good for Jamaica. All it is about is uno party getting back in power. How uno make them reach out there and demonstrate against the IC, but the most crooked government we've ever had. Me no see no PNP and demonstrate against Andrew. Me no see no demonstrate against Andrew, you know. Where you say the PNP come out in numbers today, Carlos? Well, through me sick, me never patrol social media too much. Which part of social media me can go find them, which part then they demonstrate. But this should have happened from last week. I'll send it to you now. Okay. One of the out there, a vent on anger towards this crooked government. You're talking about PNP don't watch the crowd. It's the not watching the crowd why PNP always get the crowd wrong. Miss Harriet. Because PNP not watching the crowd why them always read the crowd wrong. Because PNP is just good at that, reading the crowd wrong. Never pick up with the crowd when the crowd have the momentum. Hold on though. Let me see if I find the Facebook page. Hold on to my peeps. I'm gonna see if I pull up the Facebook page where they're pan. Because PNP should have done something you found over there. And them something happen when crooked government, when your crooked government is being seen in public the way this government is seen, then you don't have any choice except to take to the street because it's too much. Hold on now. It is way too much. And boy, is Andrew Holness. Hold on, let me see if I bring this share screen for you. Hold on, then I'm gonna a little clip with them put up on them big Facebook page. Lord Jesus, I can't even be bothered. 11. They don't have nothing longer than the 11 seconds. They must have something longer, sir. But anyway, never mind. Because the all of them are play a game with we. But we are going to stand firm against any of these political parties who only seem to come and grab power. There must be more footage out there. Possibly call us, but I mean, 11 seconds. Who not go with that? 11 seconds. 11 seconds. This is my problem with the PM. Get into the PR game. Get into the PR game. It's what everybody wait on to hear what everybody has to say. The PNP is so PR backwards, so media backwards. But anyway, never mind. Lower them to them thing. Well, I'm going to get some rest now. Because I feel my pain them a come on. And I'm going to rest to them. So thank you very much for being here this evening. Join us back here tomorrow where we continue to look at the dangers of Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party, because certainly what they have become now is a danger to the people of Jamaica. Thank you all very much, and good night from the people's point of view.
We don't feel comfortable sitting in Parliament with a Minister of Government who has openly accepted responsibility, who expresses no regret for the act, where a Commissioner of Parliament has confirmed that the act is corrupt and has referred it for prosecution, and that Minister shows no sign of wanting to resign, or the Prime Minister showing no signs of moving to dismiss the Minister.
With all the sympathy that one can have for support, this is embarrassing, not only to the government as a party, not only the PNP, but to the government, to Jamaica, to all of us. Our heads bow this morning with this sort of reaction to it.
So we have to take firm actions in this regard. It is a dark day for Jamaica, where the Prime Minister is unwilling or afraid to act against a minister in which the public has lost total confidence and in which the institutions of the society are all agree that this person does not enjoy their trust or faith and has breached the confidence that the people have placed in them.